Hey Flosstube, it's Kate, the Queen of Starts, and sorry about that. My last video, it just cut me off. Luckily, I noticed pretty quickly that it had cut me off. I double checked. I went to the end. You know me, I don't watch my own videos, but I saw the last couple seconds. And I was like, okay, so it only just cut me off. So you didn't miss too much. I didn't babble on to myself for too long. So yeah, my phone, it's on its way out. It honestly is. So, anyway, but I took the time, went ahead and uploaded that video that I just did, and I was good. I went and put away all the whips I showed in the last video, and I have the second pile of whips to show you. So we have 2 whip videos today, and then probably not today, probably, I'm going to say probably Tuesday. Yeah, probably Tuesday of next week is when I will show Starts and Happy Mail. So, got to work with when the kid's not here. She might be at school tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I have to find out. Anyway, her schedule's kind of weird. So, I'm back with the rest of my whips. Are we ready? Okay, so I was showing on the last video, like I said, I just got cut off. So, I was showing It's a Jingle Out There by Lizzie K, and I was telling you that I don't remember why I worked on it, but I did. And I was using color and cotton floss in clay pot for the reindeer. And it's on 14 count antique blue Ada. And so I did this section right in here, right under the nose, is what I did. I have a little wooden needle minder that says Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells. Anyway, so I think that came from Nessa's Needle Minders. All right, the rest of these are all fairly recent, like within the last few days. I worked on this on a Friday for Fandom Friday. I'm trying, again, part of my trying to get my stitchy bug going again is trying to have a little bit of a theme each day. So I worked on a fandom piece on a Friday. I worked on The Doctor Is In from Meridian Designs. Super fun Doctor Who piece. And so I did actually quite a bit. I filled in all of this. So I have half of the bikini top done. And my needle minder is just the TARDIS from Nifty Needle, nope, minding my minders. All right, Elves Shelves. I pulled out the other day. Remember I was talking about Beach Blanket Bingo in Stitcher's Journal. For the word blanket, it had to be a word in the title that started with the letter. So I went with Elves Shelves for E. And so here's where I am on Elves Shelves. And you know, as much as I loved Spell Shelves from the Stitcherhood, and I do enjoy working on this one, I'm getting really tired of it too. Just too similar. The projects are too similar, too close together. So, but this is a 14 count sparkly opalescent Ada, kind of in a greenish gray from Dying for Cross Stitch. And I switched all the colors around just like I did for Spell Shelves. So, but what I did was I had a little bit of the red done here on this bottle. So I finished all the red in the bottle. I had a little bit of blue to do. And I did a little bit of the yellow. So working away on that. I did discover the original chart is stitched all in black with, I think it's got like a dark green and a dark red. So of course I changed everything around. Spell Shelves I was okay with black for the shelves, but this one I wanted brighter colors, so I changed it to the yellow. Well, the bottles, of course, they're all going to be different colors instead of just the red and the green. Bottom, I think I have purple, orange, and what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, green. Purple, orange, and green on the bottom. So, but with the original, the words on the bottles was the black. It was the same as the outline. So I used yellow on the outline here. I did discover that the letters will not show up. So I'm going to have to come up with a different color for the letters. I haven't decided what that's going to be yet. So, but I did a couple hundred stitches on this. And I have a sparkly gingerbread house from Gina's Unique Boutique. My goal is to finish this piece this year. This is one of my Whipco pieces. All right, next up is another fan art stained glass piece. And this one is Tinkerbell. So Tinkerbell, I just had this little section of the border, so I finished the border down the side of page 1, and I filled in all of this little section here. So, and I have a little fairy door with a sign that says Fairies Welcome, and that's from the Everyday Stitcher. All right, for also Beach Blanket Bingo, I needed a K. So I pulled out Kitchen Notions. And this is from Cross Stitch and Needlework, Spring 2016, the Spring 2016 issue. And this is the piece. So I'm doing this on a 16 count chocolate Aida. And I am using Sulky 12 weight, doesn't have a name, but that's the number. And so it's a beautiful blue and green and just very pretty, and it stitches up so nice. So I had most of the letter E done when I started. So I finished the E, did the A, the T. I had the colander as well. And then started on the cutting board. So a couple hundred stitches on this. Just so fun, so relaxing to work with that. I love working with the sulky thread. And I have a little kawaii burger needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Next up, I worked on this not yesterday, day before. This is the Raven from Kentima by Kana, and it is on 14 count black Aida. And so that's where I am on that. I'll have the window mostly outlined. I still have, of course, all this to do. But I've been working on filling in the blue. So I did, believe it or not, this was 500 stitches. Just this section, and a couple rows over here was 500 stitches. So it's a very soothing, relaxing piece to work on. And my needle minder is the Handbook for the Recently Deceased, and that is from Needle Attractions. This one's going to get a lot more love this month. I have it down for a couple of different pieces, so I think I have another 1,000 to do in it this month. All right, next up is Little House by Soda Stitch, which is just so fun. It's going to come back out again this month for Make Your Bed Day because we have a bed there. But I just adore all the little details. So I was working on, get back in there. This is on 14 count smoke tone Aida. So I'm working on the bathroom. Okay, so I had this shelf done and I had the start of the tank on the toilet. So I finished the toilet. How many times can you say that? I did the sink, and now I'm working on the floor. So lots of little details in there. And my needle minder is from Needle Attractions, and it's Wally, because Wally loves all those little human things. Okay, next up is History of Sheep from Jardin Privé. And this is for mythological stitchers. We're focused on all different kinds of mythology over the next, well, for the last 2 weeks and then over the next month. And one of them is the Chinese New Year, the Chinese zodiac. And so my Chinese zodiac is a sheep, I think, or a ram, somewhere in there. So I think it's a ram. So I decided to work on something related to that. So I have worked on my piece with sheep. So this is on the called for 18 count vintage country mocha Ada. And this is actually, is it 3? Could be 3 or 4 charts. They can be stitched individually, but they give you really good directions on how to combine them. So I'm putting all 4 of them, 3 of them, however many there are, on this piece of fabric. So I'm still on the first one. I had this box done. No, it's not true. I had to do the little bird to finish that box off. It needs a little bit of back stitching, but that's it. So I'm working on this piece down here. So I got the frame done, and I got all of the flower stems done so far. And I have this little sheep from Brenda's Minders and More, and I have this little sheep from the Everyday Stitcher. Hey now. No, it's not 18 count, it's 20 count. That's right. Because originally I was going to do 1 thread, which is what I normally do on 20 count, and then I forgot and did 2 threads anyway. And it's a little tight in some places, but since it's not full coverage, I think it'll be okay. Not bothering me too much. Okay. Next up, for the L in blanket for a Stitcher's Journal, but also for a Stitcher's Journal Owl, which is due tomorrow, but that's okay. I worked on Let Freedom Ring from Lila's Studio. So I had to do 200 stitches. I think I've done like 300 stitches on it. So this is 32 count, I think it's just antique white Lugana from Witchelt. So what I've been working on, this is where I am, what I've been working on is, I had a little bit of this red to do, but I've been working on the roof. So lots of gray stitching for the roof. So my needle minder is a sparkly owl patriotic needle minder from Brenda's sorry, True North Needle Minders. Actually, I just pulled this out to work on today. Okay, next up, for N in blanket, I worked on Tiny Modernist New York. And so this is on 14 count white Ada. You saw Miami in the last video. So I pulled this out, and I had this red building done here. So I did the green building, gray, orange, and blue. And then I have a sparkly patriotic ribbon needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Forgot how much I really enjoyed working on the Tiny Modernist cities, because I had done a couple of them a while back, and I have a bunch started, but I forgot just how enjoyable they are, at least for me. Okay, next up we have the names of the 7 menopausal dwarves. Don't remember why I pulled this out, honestly. Might have been for a 30-minute for a Stitcher's Journal, but this is by Sue Hillis. And it is the names of the 7 menopausal dwarves, but I like to say it's the name of the 7 fibro dwarves as well, because the symptoms are pretty much the same. So, and I've been working on the word sweaty, and yet just ask my husband, as I'm, got the fan on high and the air dropped down as low as he'll let me, and I'm still dying And he's all the kids are under blankets and he's under blankets. I'm like, I'm hot. You know, fat perimenopausal fibro mama is hot. I need more air conditioning. So anyway, I'm looking forward to fall and winter. This is on a 14 count taupe, Ada. Ignore the dogs. They've been barking. Our road is getting worked on. We're going to be under construction for the next year. So people, instead of being able to walk down our road, they have to cut through our yard. So the dogs are just going bonkers. So, but I had finished the A and I did the T and started the Y on the word sweaty. So, and my needle minder says, keep calm and fight fibro. And that was from Stitchy Time Creations. So many good needle minder shops are gone, but there's so many to replace them. Okay, next up is Outlander from Clouds Factory. This is another one I would like to finish this month. I'm really close. I don't remember why I pulled it out, but this is 30. I keep thinking it's 32, but I don't think it is. No, it's a 28 count Lugana in Haunted from Color and Cotton. So there it is. And I have all of the people done, with the exception of the back stitching on the people. There's a few people that need some back stitching. But I do have all of the people done, and I have the thistle done on this side, and that's what I did. So I did Brianna. I finished Brianna. I think the last time I had shown this, I finished her dress. And so I did the thistle on this side, and I've moved over here. So the only thing I have, with the exception of the backstitch, well, the names, of course, I have all the names to backstitch. Did I follow my own advice and backstitch names as I went, as you know, each row as I went? Of course not. Why would I do that? So I have 2 more thistles up here to do. Finish that thistle. Of course, all the backstitching. I have the word Outlander up here. And I have some backstitching down at the bottom. So a lot of backstitching, but my goal to get that finished this year. In theory, I'd like to get it done this month, but you know how that goes. Okay, next up, for blanket for A, I worked on Afternoon in Paris from Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is on a 28 count Monaco from Mo's Sale. Don't talk to me about my awful, awful cutting job, okay? All that's going to be hidden. Framing hides a multitude of sins. So I did the road here. I think I had the road. I worked here on the, I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. The Arc de Triomphe is what I was working on. So that was my 200 stitches right there. And I have a little Les Mis locket. So cute. Look, it opens. Locket needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Okay, next up is the Library from Little House Needleworks. Got a lot of love this last month. It got a lot done, but it doesn't look it. The few hundred stitches I did, I'm still on the door, but I'm getting closer. This is 28 count Lugana in Oaken from Picture This Plus. Okay, so I had the bottom of the door done, and I had this section here. So I did all of this, and that's several hundred stitches. But it's getting there. And I have a Little House on the Prairie locket book, needle minder, from Nifty Needle Nannies. My stomach is telling me it's lunchtime. But I'm going to finish showing off these whips. Okay, next up is the Through the Stars Zodiac Sampler from Clouds Factory. And I'm working on all of the gold circles in the middle of the chart. Is that right? Nope, I got that upside down. And I am currently using it's kind of a gold Belle Soie silk for all of the circles. Okay, so here we are. This is 14 count Aida in Black Magic from Under the Sea Fabric. It is not quite this dark. It looks really dark in the picture, but it's not. But I had, okay, you see where the Ewok is? I love my Ewok. Where the Ewok is, I had those 2 circles done. So I've gotten all of that gold done, and then I got the little white astrology sign there done. So a long, long way to go, but a lot done too. Maybe I should open the door and let the dog in because he's very upset. Okay, next up is Lizzie Kate, Dear Coffee. It's from the Coffee Time booklet, but it's this design right here, Dear Coffee. And this is on a 14 count dark pink Aida from Fabrics by LJ. S'mores, what are you barking at, buddy? Like he's going to answer. If he ever answers one day, that's it. I'm done. I'm off to the loony bin. But I had part of the word love here. Now in the design, this is actually not filled in. The letters are not filled in. But I may fill them in with just like a lighter pink just so it shows up a little better. But, so I had I and then part of, I think I had the L and the part of the O done. So I finished the words in the banner and I've worked on the 2 ends there to get that done. So working on that, and I have a Caffeine Buzz needle minder from Nessa's Needle Minders. S'mores! Alright. Another piece that got a lot of love is Betsy Ross from Willow Hill Samplings. Found out something about this. I love this design. Let me preface that by saying I love this design. It's charted for a 40 count, which not in this lifetime, with my eyes. But this is a 32. So it's 40 count over 2, so that would be a 20 count. And this is a 32, so equivalent to a 16 count. But the floss dimensions seem to be way off. They called for 1 skein of the tarnished gold. Well, I have used almost 2 skeins, and I'm not done with the tarnished gold. So it seems that the floss measurements are just a bit off. And I guess I know I would use more than 1 because it's 16 count versus 20 count, but they seem to be really off because, like I said, I've used 2 full skeins and I'm still going to have to buy some more. So, but that's okay. That's okay. So, but I did all the tarnished gold on the bottom. Finished all of the tarnished gold on the bottom. And I've worked about half of the tarnished gold here on the side. This is a 32 count Lugana in Vintage Country Mocha. What this is. And then I have been filling in the red. So I filled in all the red there and then on the bottom. And that's something like 1,000 stitches, more than that. So this has gotten a lot of love. That cherry bark is so pretty. Really dark red. So this is I have a little sparkly flag needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. I have order of floss coming from Stitch Niche to work on this, work some more. So Next up is one of Oh, can you see what S'mores is barking at? No idea. Scared to pause the video. I never know if it's going to work again when I come back. So this is one of my, okay, he's barking at the garbage men. This is 18 count beige Ada. This is another of my stained glass fan art pieces. So this is cars. And so I have done all of this in here and all of this right in here. So I'm almost done. I have this little section here to have all the black done on page 1. Of course, I have some of the border over here. So that one's coming along nicely. And I have a Mater needle minder from True North Needle Minders. Feel bad for the garbage men trying to get all the trash on our road with, right now they've got our road down to 1 way, 1 lane. And so it is a nightmare. Poor Amazon guy the other day ended up in the ditch. He got stuck in the mud and couldn't get turned around. Okay, next up is Alice in Wonderland from Donna Stitch. And this is on a 16 count Ada that I dyed myself. And that's where I am. It's coming along nicely. So, I don't remember how much. I know all of this white and pink I've added since you've seen it last. All of this dark blue. So, I think I filled in maybe some black and some red too. So, this whole section up in here is where I've been working. So, coming along nicely. Still a long ways to go, but absolutely adore this piece. Another of my stained glass fan art pieces. This is Winnie the Pooh Honey, which I think next to Nightmare Before Christmas is the one I have the most progress done on. This is 18 count antique white. See, that's where I am. So I have most of the border outline done. Just have to do the bottom and then this side over here. And then I have all the black done on pages 1 through 3. And then I've been filling in the color. So I've got most of the tree filled in, a lot of the trunk done, a lot of the green. I've filled in some of the sky. So a lot of fill in lately. And then my needle minder is Winnie the Pooh with his honey bees and his honey tree. And that is from Minding My Minders. Okay, so for Beach Blanket Bingo again, for the H, I needed to work on something that began with an H, so I worked on the house here in Victoria Homes. This is Cole Street. This is the #1 design from Debbie Patrick. So, got to work on this. This is 28 count Monaco in Persephone from Fiberlicious. There it is. And I have done all of this pink and brown and blue, the side here and the windows, and I finished filling in this, and then this window. Shows up a lot better in person than it's showing up on the screen, but absolutely love this. And then my needle minder is a wooden postage stamp with a pig on it. I mean, who doesn't need a wooden postage stamp pig needle minder? But that was from the Everyday Stitcher. All right, next up is another fan art stained glass piece. This is Frozen on 18 count Oatmeal Ada. So that's where we are. And the design actually looks like the needle minder, which I got from Nessa's Needle Minders. But I have been working on page 1, so I have most of the castle outlined here, the snowflakes, and Anna's hand here. So I have just this section down here to work for all of the black to be done on page 1. Yeah, I'm going to say he was barking at the garbage truck because the garbage truck is gone and he's quiet again. Life with animals. See, if y'all have wondered, this is why I don't do Zoom with other stitchers. There's a lot of stitching get-togethers on Zoom. This is why I don't do them, because at any time, I'd have to be muted the entire time because there's always dogs or kids or traffic, or there's always some kind of noise going on around here. It's not a quiet house. Okay, next up is You Are My Sunshine from Stitcherovia. And this is on a 14 count yellow Aida from Fabrics by LJ. So that's where I am here. So I had the word shine done. I finished the S in sun, and I'm working on the U. So I would probably say pretty close to maybe the halfway mark on this. I have the other 2 pieces in the series started. So one day I'll get them done. And my needle minder is Big Bird and Elmo from True North Needle Minders. Of course, this piece has a special place in my heart because I sang that song to both of my girls, and I still sing it to Alex. I sang it to Hope. I could sing it to Hope, but yeah, that would go over real well. Not. Okay, next up is another stained glass fan art piece. Told you I've been working on these. This is Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I found a needle. So this is on 18 count oatmeal Aida. And I've done Alice's bow and her hair. And then been working up here on, because there's the suits of cards are along the top. So I think, I will double check, but I'm pretty sure I think I have all of the black done on the first 2 pages. So I just have page 3 to fill in the black on. And of course, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The pages are pretty small, so. But yeah, coming along very nicely on that one. And I have a clay Alice from Nessa's Needle Minders. I don't use the clay ones very often, but I do have a few that I'm partial to. All right, next up is Skeledancers from Daily Cross Stitch. And this is on a 14 count dark green. It has a name, but I don't remember what it is. It's a little scrap from Fabrics by LJ. So it is 3 skeletons that are dancing. So I almost finished the middle one here. I had his rib cage and his head done, so I did the rest of his bones around here. So I got that done. And I have a little Jack needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Another one that'll come out next month for Dark October. Okay, next up is In This House We Do Doctor Who. It might be In This House We Do Who, but it's from Stitch Line on Etsy, which is actually renamed Stitch Area, I believe, right now. And this is a 28 count Lugana in Solar from Picture This Plus. Figured it was perfect for Doctor Who. So I finished this second line here. Can't read backwards. It says the hopers of far-flung hopes and then we are, and always, it will be, of course. But I had just the words in the center done, so I finished this line and did this line up here. And my needle minders, we have a felt Cyberman from the Everyday Stitcher, a wooden TARDIS from Delicious Threads, and a Hoovian from True North Needle Minders. So fun piece. There are sections that are going to be dark blue, that are going to be black. There are sections that are going to be dark blue, some purple. I'm just kind of mixing up the colors as I go along. Okay, next up, the lovely Amanda Myers made this fantastic stitching bag. It's so awesome. Is Lady of the Flag from Mirabilia, and worked on her a little bit recently. You all know what she looks like, but just in case, there she is. And of course, I recently joined a group for Lady of the Flag, and it's all different types of conversions, but it's also just Lady of the Flag in general. So this is a 28 count Lugana in Antique Orchid? No, Wild Orchid. I knew it was something Orchid, but I couldn't remember the other day. But it's Wild Orchid from Witchelt. So I think the only thing you have not seen, I've been working on the bottom half, that line of gold there. Been working on the bottom half of her dress. Been working on the flag for a while, so took a break and been working on her dress instead. So I have two sparkly needle minders. One is the Statue of Liberty and the other is a star. And those are both from Brenda's Minders and More. Losing my voice, but in my defense, I've been talking for almost 2 hours. Okay. One of my bingo pieces for Full Coverage Fanatics in July was Frolicking from Shiny Suns. He's so cute. Look at those dragons. And I am working on converting this one to diagonal, because I was doing it cross country, but I'm changing it to diagonal. This is 18 count oatmeal Ada, and so I filled in this diagonal, which I think is the second or third one. You can see I have a lot of blue over here. This is what I had done before. But I've been changing it, converting it to diagonal. So I've been filling in colors there. So I have the beginning of a little branch, which is very exciting. And so for my dragons, I have this little dragon from Brenda's Minders and More. I have Stinking Cute from Nifty Needle Nannies. And I have the word Joy from the Everyday Stitcher, because these dragons are stinking cute and they are definitely exhibiting joy. Look at them, so happy. I like the little yellow one who's just napping. He is just chilling out. Okay, for the tea and blanket on Beach Blanket Bingo, I worked on Tangled Up in Boo by the Drawn Thread. I think I was trying to figure out what letters you've seen. You've seen the I, the N, the G in Bingo. The B and the O were starts. You've seen most of everything. But anyway, so this is Tangled Up in Boo from the Drawn Thread. My sweet friend Darla sent that to me when she was finished with it, so I will be passing it on when I'm finished with it. This is a 28 count Jobelin in Lime from Witchelt. So, and I'm using Black Crow from Gentle Arts for all of my letters. So I had, let's see, I believe I have done, I finished the H, I did the I, the J, the K, and the L are the letters I've done recently. And I have a Jack needle minder from the Everyday Stitcher. Last one. I'm not going to show you my starts. Oh, I lied. There's two. I'm not going to show you my starts on this video. The next video, I'll show starts and Happy Mail, which might be 2 videos, and that'll be probably next week. All right, so this is another stained glass fan art that I've been working on. This is Stitch. So I have the whole outside line border done, and then I had this section down here done. But I finished the black on page 2, which was just page 1. Little bits here and there to finish off page 1, which is very exciting. There's Stitch's ear. And then I started working on the border on page 2. And I have a Stitch and Scrump needle minder from Nessa's Needle Minders. Okay, now this is the last one. And for B in, oh, my phone's going to die too. For I for ink circles in bingo, I pulled out Book of Ink Circles, which is probably the first ink circles design I ever started. This is still a free design on their website, and I just love it. I think it is so fun. Just absolutely brings me so much joy to stitch it. This is on 14 count white Aida. I have the top half of the border almost completed with the black, and I've worked a little bit here and there. I filled in the yellow and all that. But the other day, what I did was I filled in this kitty cat. Isn't he adorable? I loved him before I filled him in, but I filled in the blue, the purple, and the orange. He's so cute. So that's what I worked on, and I have a sparkly leaf needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Okay, so now you have seen all of the whips that I worked on for the last May, June, July, August, all summer. So I still have starts to show you, and of course those have turned into whips because I've worked on them over the last few months. And I have Happy Mail to show you, but that will be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this lovely 2-part rambling of everything that Queen of Starts has worked on, and I will look forward to talking to you next time. So have fun, happy stitching.